yeah. Gone on you with the pick and roll. Younger flame, he in sicko mode.
Now then, welcome back to the channel. Brand new video. We're back working on the GTI today. Yes, my moustache is gone. I don't want scruff anymore. I'm a bit pissed off. I got conned into taking it off, but it's gone. Yeah, that's it. We won't talk about it. Anyway, we're working on the GTI today. Not entirely sure what we're doing, but I hope to have it started and running again by the end of the video. And then I think after that it's just going to be loads of like niggly bits, tidying everything up, making everything look cool. But yeah, main focus of today is probably get it started, I think. But driving to the unit now, we'll see when we get there. So I've just been through everything that I need to do, and there probably isn't that much, to be fair. I thought there was a lot more to do before the car gets started, but realistically it's just exhaust on, clocks and stuff, tighten everything, drive shafts. Yeah, and then we get it started, take it for a test drive, bring it back in, and then make everything look mega. Make the windows, paint the cage, paint everything, yeah. So, last time I saw it, it set on fire, and it hasn't changed since then. I haven't really done anything, but what has changed is I bought some parts, and I'll show you these now. So firstly, what I've got is these 5-point TRS harnesses with this fancy little buckle. I had some red harnesses before, but I needed black ones to go with the cage colour, so I bought them. Look decent, good condition. Then I've got a new sump, eventually, 8 months after smashing it, got a new sump. Got some spray paint. Whole interior needs doing, so I've just bought this generic Auto Extreme Professional. I guarantee it's not professional, but white gloss spray paint. So, just gonna do all the interior, all the floor, the sides probably, don't know, we'll see. The other thing you'll notice is, I've done a little test patch there. That's what colour the cage is going. Porsche Acid Green. And this is the paint I bought. Now it is VHT paint, which means very high temperature. And the reason for that is because it's doing the calipers as well, to do the rear calipers and the front calipers. Now, why did I buy VHT paint to do the cage as well? Basically because during all this going on, I can't just go to a body shop, get them to colour match something, get it put in paint cans, and I don't have a spray gun. And because this is all I could find on the internet, so I've just bought 4 cans of this, and hopefully that's enough. If it isn't, we'll order more, but yeah, that's why, don't judge me. Basically, high temperature paint's the exact same as normal paint. There's another chemical in it to make it withstand high temperatures. That's what I believe anyway, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but yeah. 4 400ml tins of this should probably do the full cage and the calipers, I hope anyway. If it just does the cage, I'll have to do the calipers later, but there's a full video coming on painting all the inside of the car. That's probably next video. Now the last thing I've bought is these candy white front wings. They're all dirty, they've been sat in my front garden. Other ones over there, they were cheap and saves me having to paint these ones. Also I've rippled one of them a bit, so yeah, that makes sense. So that's what I bought, that's what's changed. Other than that, we're just going to be bolting stuff on. We'll start off with the new sump because I need to give that sealant some time to set. So what we'll do now is get the old sump off, new sump on. I'm by myself, so I can't really film much. It's a bit hard when I'm under the car. But yeah, we'll get the old sump off.
Yeah?
Oh, nightmare. Oh, not the ideal. Well, that's the old sump off. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah.
That's the old sump, and obviously you can see at the top. That's where we're missing a massive piece of it. Now I'll tidy up this mess and get the new one on. Old sump. New sump. Just need to put this centre into here and then we can get this fitted. Got a level centre in, got it all cleaned up, got all the edges cleaned up around here. Just going to get some sealant on it and get it on the car. So that's the new sump on, and while I'm down the bottom of the car, I'll put the drive shafts on as well. Right, so I'm just putting the drive shafts on now, but there's a few more bits I need to do in between and I can't be bothered explaining, putting the camera out because evidently underneath the car's absolutely disgusting. Got CV grease everywhere because when that boot split. So I'm not going to bother filming, I'm just going to get the exhaust, drive shafts, niggly bits done and then I'll pick the camera back up. Well, as you can see by my hands, that's been a very messy 2 hours. But everything underneath the car is now on, so exhaust, drive shaft. I had loads of little bits that needed sorting out really, so I've just spent 2 hours, gone over everything, got everything perfectly done. There's no point in me showing you because it was going to be like skipping from step to step and steps to step, and I just, yeah. So, everything underneath is obviously now fitted. So now I'm just going to refit everything that goes here. The actual battery for the car's dead, so I'm just using this massive one here. You can see we've got power now. You'll see again I've got another big spec polo here, FIS display. This one even came with heated leathers, cruise control, climate control, factory navigation system, and I've just ripped everything out, but who cares, race car. So yeah, I've got power now, just going to put some oil in and then we'll try and get it started. Right, so I've got oil in the engine, got the car hooked up to a battery. Let's try start it. Well, it didn't want to turn over. I'm not sure why. I'm going to try a different battery. And then if it's not that, we'll have to try something else. But it's got power, that's a start. Right, so I've got a new battery in and I've just checked it and it's turning over. Oh my god, this light's just decided to start playing up. Ignore that. I'm gonna turn it over. I don't know what's going on.
A few moments later.
I fucking got it going! Yeah, I've got it running, I'm fucking buzzing. I thought it wasn't going to run for a minute, right? I'll turn it off in a minute, and I'll explain what happened. Right, I was shitting myself for a minute because I thought it was just going to be like an immobiliser fault or something. It turned over and the clocks were flickering, it was right weird. So filming tonight's been a complete nightmare. I haven't really done much of it and I haven't captured the actual important bits. But car starts, I've been over everything, I've checked everything, and we've only got one problem, which is that the radiator's decided to leak from the bottom corner. Now I've just investigated it, I've took the fan shroud off on the back and I can see it's coming out of this bottom corner here. Tomorrow then I'll just pull the full front end off again. I need to put some new bulbs in the lights anyway, so I'm not too fussed. I'll pull the front end off, give everything a good check over. It revs up nice, everything's working, everything seems to be working nice. There's no leaks anywhere on the engine, I've been underneath, the exhaust isn't blowing or anything. Loads more bits to put back on the inside, but to be honest, I'll probably just take it for a test drive tomorrow and then start painting, start putting windows back in, all this, that, the other. It's definitely been a successful night. I apologise I haven't filmed much, but when you're working under cars and getting filthy, you just don't want to be picking up the camera. So yeah, starts back down again tomorrow, I presume. Pull the front end off, investigate this leak, just basically finish it all off and take it for a drive, I think. But yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. It is literally daylight, definitely time for bed. So last night I had the issue of not being able to start the car for ages, and I've just come down again and I've had the exact same problem. And after loads of checking, what I've worked out is that because the actual battery, that one down there, is the actual battery for the car, which is now on charge, that was dead. So we're using batteries with jump leads onto these cables, and it basically wasn't getting a good connection. So we've then held these on proper tight, and it just starts up perfectly. So that just completely rules out that whole problem now. The car's going to start and that's all fine. But the radiator is leaking from the bottom corner. It's lost all its fluid from last night. So we're just going to take the full front end off, investigate why it's leaking, and probably going to put a new one on. So I've got the full front end dismantled, got the radiator off. I've just found this old radiator as well, which hopefully is in good condition. This has got a single fan on the back of it, and that's obviously got a double, so we can just take this full surround off with these 4 bolts and put this one onto that one. It's leaking in this bottom corner here somewhere. It's leaking down there. Not really sure why, because I haven't actually done anything with it, but it's definitely got a pretty decent leak from there. So I think what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to replace this fan shroud onto that one and fit it back on the car. So there we are, we're all bolted back up again. New radiator on, same fans refitted, everything bolted back up. I'm going to get some coolant in it, run it up to temperature, hopefully it'll hold, and then we'll bleed it up. Right, pump it up again. Right, let it out. Right, hold on. So I've been useless at filming because I just wanted to get this stuff done. I've got the clutch now bled up, and we're just bleeding the coolant system, and then after that we're going to get all the interior back in, and it's about ready for a test drive. So that's everything bled up. I've got the clutch done, got the coolant done. So I've got all the interior fitted now that I actually need to take for a test drive. Just bolted a seat in, got a steering wheel bolted on, dash is all bolted in, and on the sides it's quite solid, say it's a half dash. But when you get to the middle, we're climbing here. So when you get to the middle, it's like a bit flimsy, which is probably going to be annoying when it comes to like driving it hard. At the side, obviously, it's still mounted in that like factory metal thing. I need to chop the bottom of that. But in the middle, there's nothing to support it because the original mounts come up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some mounts that go back onto that metal bar there and bolt them into here. You can see there's like a bolting screw hole, if you see it there. And then as for this, I do want to keep this factory center console, but obviously I want to chop it, modify it, fill it in so it all looks flush. I'll probably chop it in line with where the radio surround goes. Obviously I don't need my heated seat switches. What's that? Airbag. Leave that. I don't need that. Don't need that, so I can put some little switches in there, probably for an interior light, because I don't think my factory one's going to fit anymore. I'm definitely going to keep this because I can put my dash cubby in, and that's just going to be useful for when it comes to driving about, keep stuff in there. And then plan for these vents is to blank them off, well, cut them out and blank them off, and then Dremel holes for, I've got a charger, a voltage gauge with 2 USB chargers, and I'll blank these off. Probably just leave a standard one in there or don't put one in. And then on this side, I need to put one in and modify it the same again so I can install these 2 switches in. Obviously a bit neater than that. Probably that one at the bottom and the other one at the top. Just so I've got it accessible. Make it look as factory as possible, and that's probably it for the dash. Just make it so it's solid really. I don't want to be rallying around a track and dash is going like that, shaking its knackers off, do I? But other than that, new steering wheel, a few little bits and paint, and then interior sorted as well. As for the engine bay, the one thing that I really do want to do is make a mount for this, because that is flimsy. This bounces now, and I think it's always been quite flimsy, but it's never really mattered because it hasn't been extended as far as it is. And now with the massive airflow coming through here, I just think that's just going to bounce. So what I'm thinking about doing is probably utilising this original earthing point there. I'm going to use this aluminium sheet and just going to fabricate my own little mount. I was thinking about making something with a circle so it actually slots round this tube, and then I thought that'll still probably vibrate up against the tube unless I got it perfectly tight. Doesn't really make sense. So what I'm probably going to do, just get a sheet, cut a sheet so it bolts on there, bends round to there, and probably like goes, and then does like a 90-degree flat across there. That can then just jubilee round, and that'll just hold it solid in place. So I've played around with the design a bit more, and I've made it far shorter. Basically what I figured out was that I need my air filter in line with my headlight intake, and to do that, well, it needs to be as close to in line to get the best airflow. I can just move it over a tiny bit, so I basically made it a lot shorter, and I'm just going to pull the air filter over the tiniest bit to like that. That way it's perfectly in line. So I made this shorter, got the right position, I'm going to get it bolted up. See how much more solid it is now, that's me rocking it. On that factory mounting point there, jubileed round. Nice position with the headlight intake. Job done. I think everything's sorted now to get it out, take it for a test drive, check everything's working as it should. Basically now we're just going to tidy everything up around the car, get it down on the ground. Pulled all the wheels out. I've mentioned it before, but we're running Team Dynamic 1.2s. I think they're about 7JT28 or something. And then we've got NS2Rs in a 205, 45, 16. 3 greys, 1 black, and I wonder what the reason for that is. Oh yeah, Tom crashed into a curb. Can you see that crack in that spoke there? 3 spokes are cracked. Big crash into a curb. And I crashed into a curb as well here. I've never crashed a car in my life, but I've crashed into curbs and smashed wheels to bits. That's it. So we've got a stud and nut conversion on the rear, but not on the front, and that's because I've just had an absolute nightmare with these coming loose. Previous owners must not have put them in right, and then I've threaded some of them, so I'm probably just going to buy a full new kit and we'll fit that at some point. That's how they should all.
Oh,
Like 9 months ago, I put this car on these axle stands, and tonight it's coming off them.
This looks so dodgy. Look how excited you're getting.
The stands are on my holes.
Oh my god, you ready? Why is it so small?
It looks tiny, doesn't it? It looks absolutely tiny. She's on 4 wheels. She's ready for a little test drive.
Can I drive it?
Can you drive it? Yeah, alright. It looks really small, I can see the roof now. It's absolutely filthy. Look at the state of the roof. Some dirt on that. Oh, look at the clip of that.
Ridiculous.
That is a lot of dust. Right, let's take it for a test drive. So now I need to get Kirsty's Rosa out the way, make a little gap, get it through here. quite weird to see this outside. Right, we're going to get the chain down, I'm going to take it for a little spin, check everything's working nice.
Oh, that is so satisfying.
Oh my gosh. Oh, the amount of dust on here is unreal.
Tommy, I was being sat there for a year.
Right, you can see that dust now. You see it?
Yeah, it's grim. Don't get rid of my name.
Here, she's made me keep.
No, you haven't.
So can I wipe it off then?
No, well yeah, if you want to do that, you do that.
Have you made me keep it or not? Shall I wipe it off?
Tom, you know that you wanted it there.
Shall I wipe it off?
Do you want to wipe it off?
Well, yeah.
You do. If you want to wipe it off, then wipe it off, but I'll be upset.
There you are then.
Tom!
Oh shit, I forgot you didn't have a seat.
Dickhead! No, you didn't forget that.
No, I genuinely swear to God, I fully forgot. I'm just trying to test the brakes.
Test the brakes, Phil. I don't have a seat.
So we've successfully tested the car. There was no faults really. Brakes, it drives. I've got all four, well I've got into fourth gear, I didn't get to fifth, but I've got all gears anyway. I checked it when it was on the thing. Everything seems alright. My steering's way off and my tracking's out from when I hit that curb, so that's all to be sorted, but other than that, it's pretty much bang on. Didn't overheat. So so obviously there was loads of like knocking and banging and shit from the inside because there's loads of little bits that aren't attached and all the wiring under the dash are flying about everywhere. But yeah, so now what we need to do, just going to tidy up all this spot, have a massive tidy up, clear everything out, get this back in. That's probably it for this video. Right, so that's everything for this video. Car's back in the unit, it's down on the ground. It runs, it drives, all mechanical things are sorted. Next time, we're painting all this roll cage, all the interior white. I've got all my materials. We're starting that tomorrow. There'll be a full video coming on that. But that's it. That's it for today. Cheers for watching. I'll see you in the next one.